What's going on, guys? I'm a little tired, but I think I can truck through this, okay? I'm gonna try my best not to slur or jumble up my words a little bit. Alright, I've been pounding these down. I've been up for a long time, been doing all sorts of stuff today, and I haven't been able to wind down yet because I have to stay up just a little longer. And while I'm doing that, I actually ran across something that I'm a little late on, but it makes me happy. Okay, I've made it pretty prevalent on this channel that I hate nuisance streamers. And before I completely put my foot in my mouth, yes, let me go ahead and address a little bit of hypocrisy coming from myself. I was a person who watched a lot of Jackass as a kid, okay? I think I've made that pretty well known as well. And I can admit, as a kid, that was funny for the time because it was like a one-time thing. It wasn't a big, giant pandemic of problems. It was one group being dumb, and most of the time pranking each other, really. And then a lot of the times that once they actually got, I think after the first season or when they actually got a better budget, they would actually set these up in stores that are kind of paid off for it or whatever. And normally it was just passerbys that didn't have to be involved. That's the type of stuff they did, okay? So it's a little bit different. Now, what I'm going to show you today, though, is a guy that got arrested for, like, nothing even close to it. It's just a guy being a jackass and thinking it's funny while showing it on his TikTok, okay? This is not an IRL streamer. I know I've covered them before a few times, but this is somebody I wanted to talk about just because I think it's the chef kiss, the way he acts and his entitlement, and then the entourage of goobers that like to follow him.
Kyle, you wanted attention, now you got it.
Kyle Vasquez is used to chasing likes on TikTok, but not much to like about this obscene gesture at court today.
Hey, what are you doing?
Now, I don't know why. I'm sorry that I paused it so early on, but right here when he turns back, he's got that Jack Doherty look to me for some reason, and he's just got an absolute slappable face at this moment. I just thought it was kind of weird and just, I don't know, I was connecting parallels here.
What? We're not doing that.
Then he tried to barge out a side door in conflict with the officers that were here to escort him out. The 21-year-old from Coram, known as Tommy Tough Knuckles on TikTok, facing 8 separate criminal counts today for viral videos like this one.
I'm Tommy Tough Knuckles, and I'm the reason why these egg prices are so high!
Police say Vasquez dumped 50 raw eggs over his head outside this Ralph's Italian Ices here in Center Reach. Then there's the incident up the road inside Wing Hua Chinese restaurant, where police say he spilled the beans.
Yeah, I'm very angry, and they're all angry because they made me a mess.
The restaurant releasing this surveillance video to show what they were subjected to, all for likes on social media.
That little bit of a snippet is probably enough for you to understand what Tommy Moose Knuckle is all about. He's just a nuisance that thinks it's funny, and he's getting, reactions and clicks and this, that, and the other. And what bothers me a little bit more, and to kind of clarify why it bothers me, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, whatever I'm saying is kind of obvious because, yeah, that's what everybody thinks. When you work at a restaurant, you're not getting paid hardly dick, to be honest, unless you get tips. And even then, you could have bad nights. You can get stiffed a lot. It's not guaranteed, okay? It's not guaranteed money. And I didn't work in restaurants, but my friends did, okay? I was the retail worker, and they were the opposite. They went straight into food because when you work in food, sometimes you can make a little bit more money, especially at a young age. There is a capability of making good money, essentially, at a young age, which is a good jumpstart. Let you pay for a car. Not guaranteed, by the way. Just going to go ahead and say that. It's like with anything. You're not guaranteed to make good money in a spot that can make good money. But it's also rough. The cooks, the waitresses, pretty much anybody that has to touch anything in there, they're dealing with a lot of steam, heat, and nuisances of their own. People inside the place, the customers, that can be complete assholes. It is very, very, very exhausting to deal with people. And to have to do it in a restaurant is, I know, probably 1,000 times worse than what I dealt with when I worked retail. Okay, I dealt with business people mostly. That was, usually they knew what they were coming in for. They'd buy a printer or they would get some work done on the computer, stuff like that. Simple, a little easier. When you go to a restaurant, people know what they want, but you best believe they don't know what the fuck they're saying when they want it. They'll tell you that they want a medium steak, and then if it comes out medium, they're going to go, that's rare, that's raw, I didn't ask for that. And don't get me wrong, there's still sometimes the restaurant does mess up. I'm not going to say they don't. They're not perfect. It definitely happens. But a lot of the times I'm going to say the customer is just a terrible person, okay? And this guy right here is that problem. Because guess what? Somebody's got to clean that up. The poor lady that had to clean it up, that probably owns the restaurant, and that had to piss her off. Because then that also becomes a contamination issue. You have food everywhere you have to clean up, and you got to make sure it's clean. Because if any bugs somehow get in there, you just got yourself like a health violation. There's just so many moving parts to this being a problem.
Give me your 50 yay, we'll do more!
But the felony counts were far worse, authorities telling us Vasquez unlawfully recorded 2 private homeowners with an undercover camera in Selden and Centereach to mock them for allowing him inside.
Because they were kind, and they let somebody into the house claiming that they had to use a bathroom in an extreme way.
Tough Knuckles not so tough as he then bolted from us at the courthouse, free till his next court appearance, but shielded by friends who came here mostly to twerk.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, the little twerking at the end kind of got a giggle out of me. I thought it was kind of funny. Other than that, I think they're not taking this serious, which is fine. I'm pretty sure the media is going to eat that up too. I'm eating it up right now, actually, because I just think it's funny to watch people in real life break down their life because of internet, like, brain rot. Now, I grew up when the internet was more on its infancy, you know, dial-up, stuff like that. So I've seen some of the worst the internet could provide. And I don't think and I've been pretty well online for a long time. I probably am not on the level of terminally online, but I've definitely been online for a while, and I don't think I've hit this level of brain rot. You know, there's certain things that I've seen probably on, like, TikTok that definitely drew my attention. Like I said, a lot of my TikTok videos that I watch is just boring for the most part. A little bit of, you know, Family Guy clips, whatnot. Stuff that I share with, like, my family and stuff, people that I hang out with. I will say I hope they use him as an example in this area, because this is Long Island. I really hope that he's, like, going to be the poster child of FAFO, especially messing with restaurants. It's just things that you shouldn't do. That's one of those big things that bother me. I've already went on that little spiel about restaurants and that's why I don't like people messing with them. But still, my point still stands. I think it's dumb, it's irresponsible, and his buddies just don't understand. So they're just being goofy, because I mean, his generation for the most part don't take anything serious. I've seen plenty of videos where, like, they'll have a full-on wreck and everything's messed up, and they'll make a TikTok out of it to laugh. Another thing, while I was looking everything up, his channel has 166,000 followers. Now, to me, that would be a lot. But from what I understand, if we were to, you know, kind of engage this through, like, we'll put it as a currency. So on YouTube, if you have, say, 1 million subs, or 166 million subs, that's actually a lot to make a living off of, especially if, say, my content, if my channel was to get to 166,000 subs, it would produce good, you know, funds. Financially, I'd get sponsors, all sorts of things. I don't think TikTok, while probably giving you sponsors for sure, they don't pay that much. I don't think they do. I don't know what the virality is with it. I don't know how, you know, their likes, hearts, shares, all. I don't know how their stuff functions. But I've seen where people have, like, pulled up, like a price grid, basically, how much you would make. And by comparison, TikTok is way down there. Okay, a lot of their money is from selling, like certain endorsements, essentially, where people are like, hey, sell my thing from Temu, whatever it is. And they'll try to sell it, and that's why you see a lot of them selling products sometimes, or they do a lot of product placement sponsored deals, because that's where they make a lot of their money, from what I understand. Now, I might be wrong, but that was the stuff that I've seen. That's why I've seen a lot of content creators do that. But like I said, I really hope that, you know, they kind of put a little hammer down on him and he just goes to jail, because yeah, he's knowingly just being a jackass, and they're also just flaunting the fact that they're just morons with the twerking, and, like, I think that's hitting the gritty. Sorry, I'm a little old. I'm not with the hip, young dance moves, man. But yeah, guys, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.